as usual, I don't have very good memory and my stories tend to ramble all over the place, so I brought an olive cue with me tonight. I hope you'll forgive me. Anyway. Charles going to give me a little more sound. Hello. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, anyway, good evening, everyone. It's very nice of me to be here tonight talk to you about friends and lovers. And for an occasion like this, I thought it might be nice if I started with a song. But the problem is it's a song we usually finish with. I'm not a very good singer, so you know, if you know the words, please feel free to join in. Also, I'm going to put one hand over my ear. I don't know why, but Irish singers always do this. You can only hear the half of it. But anyway, probably everybody knows this, so you know, feel free to join in. Here we go. Without further ado. 1, 2, 3. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should oh, that's enough of that. Okay. Anyway, those are the immortal words of Robert Burns in what is probably the best known poem ever written about friendship in a language that's something similar to English. One of the things that I really like about Japan here is the Doso Kai, or the reunion party. I keep meeting all these people of all ages who are heading off to some hotel dressed up to the nines to attend a reunion party for their university, of course, or for their work things, but even for elementary school and sometimes even, you know, like kindergarten, boyfriend. I never go to reunion parties myself, because the honest truth is most of my old acquaintances have in fact been forgotten. When I was putting this together, I came across a little photograph that my mother had sent me of me when I was a child in the back garden, cleaning my tricycle with a mop. And I realized looking at it, not only have I forgotten my old friends, but I can't even remember myself. Because to tell you the truth, I'm a bit of a slob, and I never wash my car. I have no idea who that guy is. Anyway, it's said that we grow to resemble the friends that we keep. So it's with some trepidation that I look back over the years at the motley crew of, you know, socially inept losers, freaks, weirdos, misfits, and perverts. I remember having been my friends. I must say it's nice to see some of you here tonight. But actually it is true. We learn a lot from our friends. I have two little girls, one aged 10 and the other aged 6. And they both have learned to speak Japanese fluently from their little friends. But when I asked them to give me an example of an English idiom in a subjunctive voice, they hadn't a clue what I was talking about. And you know, I'm an English teacher. Yeah. So would that I had known, I'd have sent them to a school with English-speaking friends. A while ago, I listened to a broadcast on BBC Radio 4. Now, for those of you who may not know, BBC Radio 4 is a kind of BBC radio station aimed at a more intellectual audience. But despite that, there's still some pretty good programs on it. And the one I listened to was about ping pong. And the guy who was being interviewed mentioned that at the time that he had been the champion in Britain, the other 10 best players in England all lived on the same street as him in London, except one. He lived on another street. But they all went to the same school. And in that school, the schoolmaster was very keen on the game of table tennis. So 2 points to note. Number one, a good teacher is absolutely invaluable. And number two, friends can help to, push or pull you along the road to success. Or alternatively, drag you down the slippery slope to failure. Absolutely no doubt that there are prisons, rehab centers, and Starbucks cafes that are completely full of basically good people who've just been led astray by their friends. So if you want to be rich, then you should make rich friends. If you want to be a surfer, then you should maybe move over to Hawaii and make your friends over there. And I wasn't going to say this, but no. Well, if you want to be a loser, move to England and make friends with Holland. But I decided to admit that. So I don't want to insult anybody. Anyway, and if you want to be a cosmopolitan, erudite, cultured citizen of the world, then move to Japan and make your friends right here in Kyoto. So, have any of you cultured, cosmopolitan, erudite people read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Oh yeah.
Yes? Well, if you have, you'll remember that at the beginning, Captain R. Walton is preparing his ship for the perilous voyage to the north, a voyage of discovery. And he's happy with his crew, but in a letter to his sister, he laments his want of a friend. And he said, "I have no friends. When I'm glowing with enthusiasm of success, there will be none to participate in my joy. And if I'm assailed by disappointment, no one will endeavor to sustain me in dejection." So I think friendship is largely about sharing. Life, like fine vintage wine, is better shared than drunk alone. So some years ago, I attended a wedding in the north of England. To be honest, I was a bit jet-lagged after the flight in from Japan, so I slept through most of the thing on the hotel sofa. But I'm glad I went, because while I was there, I met some friends. Now, I should say they weren't my friends. They were their friends, 3 of them. One was the groom's father, and the other 2 were his friends from childhood. They'd grown up together, they'd gone to school together, they'd been to a war together, they'd worked together, brought their families up near one another. And I think they had even supported Bradford City Football Club together. And in short, those guys had shared their entire life. I listened to them, and their banter was kind of relaxed and easy. And they told stories not about themselves, but about each other. And their kind of affection and respect for each other was obvious. And it was warm and charming and fuzzy. And I fell asleep. but I did kind of envy this sort of friendship, because I myself have never lived in one place long enough to make friends like the friends of John Ashburn's father. I believe that those 3 fine gentlemen have all passed away. But I do hope that somewhere out in the great eternity tonight, 3 friends are getting together to cheer the Bantams to victory in the cup final that they so unexpectedly arrived at. Just in case anybody doesn't, the Bantams this team has made it to the League Cup final against all the odds. It's a historic thing. Nobody knows that, huh? Okay. Anyway, let's just drop that. Okay. Anyway.
You might have to explain that to the Americans in the audience.
Yes, well, a football team in England in the 4th tier for the first time ever in the history of football is going to play in a major cup final tonight in England. John Ashburn has flown back to England, especially for the event. That is how important it is, and I don't think I need to explain it. Anyway, check it out. You'll see it on the computer tomorrow. Anyway, despite what I said earlier, I have been extremely fortunate to have shared my time with mostly kind-hearted, concerned, helpful, entertaining, funny people. Not very many rich ones, I should say. But I've had a few Franken friends too. I remember one guy in school who said, "Be my friend or I'll kick your head in." So, I mean, what choice did I have? There's a saying that we become acquainted by chance, but we become friends by choice. I actually don't think that's really true. The truth is that we don't have so much choice in who our friends are. We become friends with the people around us, and the alternative to that is much less attractive, so we're left with that. Jesus said, I always have a little biblical reference in my talks, but Jesus said, "There is no greater love than to lay down your life for your friend." Or words to that effect. Anyway, he might be right, but I think it's a little bit excessive. I don't expect it from any of you here tonight. But maybe then I'm defining friend a little bit too loosely. The kind of friend I'm talking about, I think, is something like a big sofa. the kind of sofa you would buy in, LL Beans or somewhere like that. So it's strong enough to support you, but soft enough to give way whenever it's required. You can get up and leave anytime you like, come back whenever you want, and sink into the warmth and comfort of the friendship as though you've never left. And so finally, we come to love, which I think is what Jesus was talking about. And Dr. Seuss also had something to say. He said, I quite like this, "You know you are in love when reality is even better than your dreams." If friendship's like a sofa, then love's like a rubber dinghy in a deluge. You're spun this way and that, you've got no control, you can't get off, you've been sucked to the top of a giant waterfall, and once you plunge over, you're going to be either smashed to bits on the rocks below, or you're going to bob up to the surface and float up in a tropical paradise, or occasionally a desert island. Anyway, in love, there's no choice. If you fall in love, you just fall. It is emotion at its rawest, and perhaps it is the most powerful emotion of them all. People have killed and have died for it. Reason has nothing to do with it. It can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody. And we've all been there. Who here tonight hasn't stolen their boss's car, left their work half done, driven across town, picked up a parking ticket just for a few minutes with their loved one? Who here tonight hasn't flown halfway around the world on a stupid, desperate, futile attempt to recapture lost love, and then spent days wandering around the rain-swept streets of London? Well, not exactly suicidal thoughts. If a bus ran over me now, I wouldn't really mind. Love is a mad, mad madness. And yet, we go back to it again and again. Not only because, like its cousin friendship, it greatly enhances your chances of getting some free consensual sex, but also because it has a lot to do with making life worthwhile. As the old Valentine's poem goes, "Roses are red, violets are blue." Some poems rhyme, but this one doesn't. Like friendship and love, it's not perfect, but there's something nice about it. Thank you very much.
Tom, thank you so much for setting us straight on that. That's just anyone with any questions about love, you're the master. I love it.